Chapter 5 of Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Honest to God, there is nothing better than Halloween on a Friday. All day in school, there's a kind of charged feeling, and it seems to make the work less boring and the teachers funnier. I've got felt cat ears duct taped to my hoodie, and a tail pinned to the butt of my jeans, and kids I don't know are giving me smiles in the hallways. Laughing in a nice way. It's just an awesome day. Abby comes home with me, and we'll walk over to Nick's later so Leah can pick us all up. Leah's already 17, which makes a difference in Georgia with your license. I can drive one other person at a time besides Nora right now, and that's the end of the story. My parents aren't strict about a lot of things, but they're evil, mad dictators when it comes to driving. Abby collapses to the floor to cuddle with Bieber as soon as we walk into the kitchen. She and Leah may not have much in common, but they're both obsessed with my dog, and Bieber is now lying pathetically on his back, belly exposed, staring up at Abby dreamily. Bieber is a golden retriever, and he has those big, brown, kind of manic eyes. Alice was way too pleased with herself when she came up with his name. I'm not gonna lie, it seriously fits. So where is this thing? Abby asked, looking up at me. She and Bieber intertwined in an eternity embrace, her headband sliding down over her eyes. A lot of people did the toned-down school version of Halloween today, animal ears and masks and things like that. Abby showed up wearing a full-on, head-to-toe Cleopatra costume. Garrett's house? Somewhere off Roswell Road, I think. Nick knows. So it's going to be mostly soccer people? Probably. I don't know, I say. I mean, I did get a text from Monkey's asshole confirming he'd be there, but I don't feel like bringing him into the conversation. Well, whatever. It'll be fun. She tries to extract herself from the dog, and her costume rides almost all the way up her thigh. So she does have tights on, but really, I guess it's funny. As far as I know, everyone thinks of me as straight, but already Abby seems to have figured out that she doesn't have to be self-conscious around me. But maybe that's just how she is. Hey, are you hungry? She asks, and I realize I'm supposed to have offered her something. We end up cooking grilled cheese in the toaster oven and bringing it into the living room to eat in front of the TV. Nora is tucked into her corner on the couch, reading Macbeth. I guess that's kind of Halloweenish. Nora never really goes out. I catch her eyeing our sandwiches, and then she slides off the couch to make one for herself. I mean, if she wanted grilled cheese, she really should have just told me. Our mom gives Nora crap about being more assertive. Though I guess I could have asked if she was hungry. I have a hard time getting into other people's heads sometimes. It's probably the worst thing about me. We watch some random shows on Bravo with Bieber stretched between us on the couch. Nora comes in with her sandwich and goes back to reading. Alice, Nora, and I tend to do our work in front of the TV or with music playing, but we all get good grades regardless. Hey, we better get dressed, right? Abby says. Abby has an entirely different costume for the party, because by now everyone has seen Cleopatra. We don't have to be at Nick's until 8. But don't you want to dress up for the trick-or-treaters? She says. I always hated it when people weren't in costume. If you say so. But I promise you, the kids here are all about the candy, and they seriously don't care where it comes from. That's a little concerning, says Abby. I laugh. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, I'm taking over your bathroom now. Time for the transformation. Sounds good, I say. I'll transform in here. Nora looks up at her book. Simon, ew. It's a Dementor robe over my clothes. I think you'll survive. What's a Dementor? I mean, I can't even. Nora, you are no longer my sister. So it's some Harry Potter thing, she says. Garrett bumps fists with Nick when we walk in. Eisner, what is up? And there's this throb of music and random burst of laughter and people holding cans that aren't Coke. Already I'm feeling a little out of my depth. So here's the thing. I'm used to the other kind of party. The kind where you get to someone's house and their mom shows you down to the basement and there's junk food and apples to apples and a bunch of people randomly singing. Maybe some people playing video games. So what can I get you to drink? Garrett asks. We have beer and vodka and rum. Yeah, thanks, no, says Leah. I drove. Oh, well, We have Cokes and juice and stuff. I'll have vodka with orange juice, says Abby. Leah shakes her head. A screwdriver for Wonder Woman coming right up. Eisner? Spear? Anything? Can I get you a beer? Sure, I say. My heart is doing some noticeable thumping. Spear, a beer, Garrett says, and then he laughs. I guess because it rhymes. He disappears to get us drinks, which my mom would probably say is really excellent hosting. Not that there's any way in holy hell I'm telling my parents about the alcohol. They would be too goddamn amused. I pull my Dementor hood over my head and lean against the wall. Nick has gone upstairs to get Garrett's dad's guitar, so it's that weird quiet tension of being alone with Abby and Leah. Abby sings along under her breath to the music and kind of shimmies her shoulders. I feel myself kind of shrinking towards Leah. Sometimes I just know she's feeling exactly the way I am. Leah looks at the couch. Wow, is that Katniss making out with Yoda? Who's making out with who? Says Abby. There's a pause. Yeah, forget it, says Leah. I think Leah gets extra sarcastic when she's nervous, but Abby never seems to notice that edge in her voice. Where the heck is Nick? She asks. Just hearing Abby say Nick's name makes Leah suck in her lips. Feeling up a guitar somewhere, I suggest. Yeah, says Leah. Most awkward way ever to get a splinter. Which sets Abby off giggling. Leah looks kind of flushed and pleased with herself. It's the weirdest thing. There are these moments with Abby and Leah where it honestly just seems like they're showing off for each other. But then Garrett walks over with an armload of drinks, and something in Leah's expression slams shut. All right, screwdrivers for the ladies, Garrett says, handing one to each of them. This is... okay, says Leah, rolling her eyes and leaving the drink on the table behind her. And a beer for... whatever the hell you're supposed to be. A Dementor, I say. What in God's holy name is that? A Dementor? From Harry Potter? Well, put your hood back, for the love of Jesus. And who are you supposed to be? Kim Kardashian, says Leah, just completely deadpan. Garrett looks confused. Toru? From Fruits Basket? It's a manga, she says. There's a crash of dissonant piano notes from across the room, and Garrett's eyes skate past us. A couple of girls are sitting on the piano bench, and I guess one of them knocked her elbow into the keys. But this burst of wild drunk laughter, and I almost wish I were home with Nora, watching Bravo and listening for the door and stuffing my face with fun-size Kit Kats, which, for the record, are way less fun than full-size Kit Kats. I don't know. It's not that I'm having a bad time exactly, but being here feels strange. I take a sip of my beer, and it's just astonishingly disgusting. I don't think I was expecting it to taste like ice cream, but holy fucking hell. The people lie and get fake IDs and sneak into bars, and for this? I honestly think I'd rather make out with Bieber, the dog, or Justin. Anyway, it really makes you worry about all the hype surrounding sex. Garrett leaves Nick's drink with us and joins the girls at the piano. I think they're freshmen. Their costumes are surprisingly clever. One of them is wearing a black silk nightgown with a picture of Freud's face taped up at the front. A Freudian slip. Nick will like that. But they're Nora's age. I can't believe they're drinking. Garrett quickly pulls down the lid over the piano keys, and the fact that he's worried about the piano makes me like him better. There you are, says Abby. Nick is back. Holding on to the acoustic guitar like a lifeline. He settles onto the floor to tune it, his back against the side of the couch. A couple of people glance over at him without breaking their conversations. It's weird, because pretty much everyone looks familiar, but it's all soccer people and other miscellaneous jocks. Which is fine, obviously. It's just that I don't really know them. It's pretty clear that I won't be seeing Cal Price in this crowd, and I don't know where the heck Martin is. I sit and Leah slides down the wall next to me, leaning against it with her legs tucked away awkwardly to the side. She's wearing a skirt with her costume, and I can tell she's trying to keep her thighs from showing, which is so ridiculous and so Leah. I scoot close to her, and she smiles a little bit without looking at me. Abby settles in cross-legged facing us, and it's really kind of nice. We basically have our own corner of the room. I feel kind of happy and hazy now, and beer doesn't taste so bad after the first few sips. Garrett or someone must have turned the stereo off, and a couple of people have come over to listen to Nick. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Nick has the most raspy, perfect singing voice in the world. Of course he has this weird dad-like obsession with classic rock, but I guess that's not always a bad thing, because right now he's singing Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, and I'm thinking about Blue, and I'm thinking about Cal Price. Here's the thing. I have this feeling in my gut that Blue is Cal Price. I just do. I think it's the eyes. He has ocean eyes, just waves and waves of blue-green, and sometimes when I look at Cal, I feel we understand each other, and he gets it, and it's perfect and unspoken. Simon, how much did you drink? Asked Leah. I'm twisting the ends of her hair. Leah's hair is so pretty, and smells exactly like French toast. Except that's Abby. Leah smells like almonds. 1 beer. 1 most excellent, most delicious beer. 1 beer. I can't even begin to express how ridiculous you are. But she's almost smiling. Leah, did you know you have a really Irish face? She looks at me. What? You guys know what I mean. Like an Irish face. Are you Irish? Not as far as I know. Abby laughs. My ancestors are Scottish, someone says. I look up and it's Martin Addison wearing bunny ears. Yeah, exactly, I say as Martin sits beside Abby, close but not too close. Okay, and it's so weird, right? Because we all have these ancestors from all over the world, and here we are in Garrett's living room, and Martin's ancestors are from Scotland, and I'm sorry, but Leah's are totally from Ireland. If you say so. And Nick's are from Israel. Israel? Says Nick, fingers still sliding all over the frets of the guitar. They're from Russia. So I guess you learn something new every day, because I really thought Jewish people came from Israel. Okay, well, I'm English and German, and Abby's, you know. Oh god, I don't know anything about Africa, and I don't know if that makes me racist. West African, I think. Exactly. I mean, it's just the randomness of it. How did we end up here? Slavery, in my case, Abby says. And fucking fuck. I needed to shut up. I needed to shut up about 5 minutes ago. The stereo kicks back in again. Hey, I think I'm going to grab a drink, Martin says, jumping up again in that antsy Martin way. Can I get you all anything? Thanks, but I'm driving, says Leah. But she wouldn't be drinking even if she wasn't driving. I know that. Because there's this invisible line, and on one side are people like Garrett and Abby and Nick and every musician ever. People who go to parties and drink and don't get wasted off of 1 beer. People who have sex and don't think it's a huge deal. On the other side of the line are people like Leah and me. But the one thing that makes it weirdly better is knowing that Blue is one of us. I'm reading a little between the lines here, but I actually don't think Blue has ever kissed anyone. It's funny. I don't even know if it counts that I have. I've never kissed a guy. That's something I think about all the time. Speared? Asks Martin. Sorry, what? Anything to drink? Oh, thanks. I'm good. Leah makes this little noise like a snort. I'm done too. Thanks, though. Abby kicks her foot against my foot. At home, I just take the metro and sneak in through the back door, so it didn't matter. When Abby says home, she's still talking about DC, but I figure Simon's parents don't need to see me drunk. I don't think they would care. Abby pushes her bangs to the side and looks up at me. I think you'd be surprised. They let my sister pierce her ear 1,000,000 times. Wow. Nora's such a badass, says Leah. Okay, Nora's the opposite of badass. I shake my head. I am such a badder ass than Nora. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise, says Martin, settling back in beside Abby with a beer in hand. Abby stretches and pulls herself up, resting her hand on my hood. Come on, people are dancing. Good for people, says Nick. We are dancing. Abby extends both arms towards him. No. He puts the guitar down and lets her pull him up. But have you even seen my sweet moves? Asks Martin. Let's see him. He does this weird rhythmic pantomime of swimming, followed by the side-to-side shoulder lurch, butt scoot combo. Yeah, you're awesome, Abby says. Come on. She tugs his hands and he springs up beaming. Then she guides her little harem to his carpeted area near the stereo, where people are drinking and grinding to Kanye. Except Abby kind of goes into her own world when she dances, so Nick and Martin end up bobbing self-consciously and pointedly, not looking at each other. Oh my god, says Leah. It's happening. We're finally witnessing something more painful than Nick's bar mitzvah. Awkwardness achievement unlocked. Should we be filming this? Just savor it. I hook my arm around her shoulders, pulling her in closer. And Leah's weird about hugs sometimes, but today she buries her face on my shoulder and murmurs something into the fabric of my robes. What? I nudge her. But she shakes her head and sighs. Leah drops us all off at Nick's at midnight, and from there it's a 7-minute walk to my house. The indoor lights are off everywhere, but the neighborhood is still lit up orange. There are a few smashed pumpkins and lots of toilet paper tangled through branches. Shady Creek may be a magical fairyland of a suburb most of the time, but when candy runs out on Halloween, the criminal underbelly emerges. At least in my neighborhood. It's chilly and unnaturally quiet. If Abby weren't with me, I would have drawn out the silence with music. It feels like we're the last survivors of a zombie apocalypse. Wonder Woman and a gay Dementor. It doesn't bode well for the survival of species. We turn at the end of Nick's street. I could do this walk with my eyes closed. All right, I have something to ask you, Abby says. Oh yeah? So, Martin was talking to me when you were in the bathroom. I feel something freeze up inside of me. Okay, I say. Yeah, and this is... Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but he was talking about homecoming, and he brought it up like 3 times. Did he ask you to the dance? No, it was like... I guess it seemed like he was maybe trying to? Martin freaking Addison. He's like the opposite of suave. But holy fuck, I'm so relieved he didn't tell her. I'm guessing he didn't get anywhere with that. Abby bites her lip and smiles. He's a really nice guy. Yep. But I'm already going with Ty Allen. He asked me 2 weeks ago. Really? How did I not know that? Sorry, was I supposed to announce it on the Tumblr? She grins. Anyway, I don't know if you might be able to mention that to Martin. You're friends with him, right? I'd just rather not deal with him asking me if I can avoid it. I'll see what I can do. What about you? Are you still boycotting? Abby asks. Of course. Leah, Nick, and I are of the mind that homecoming is just achingly lame, and we skip it every year. You can ask Leah, Abby says. She looks at me sidelong with weird, probing expression. I feel a storm of laughter brewing. You think I like Leah? I don't know, she says, smiling and shrugging. You looked so sweet the other night. Me and Leah? I ask. But I'm gay. Gay! Gay! God, I should really just tell her. I can kind of picture her reaction. Eyes widening, mouth falling open. Yeah, maybe not tonight. Hey, I say, not quite looking at her. Do you think you would ever be into Martin? Art Addison? Why do you ask? Nothing, I don't know. He's a decent guy, I guess. My voice sounds thin and high, like Voldemort. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh, it's cute that you guys are friends. I didn't even know what to say to that. My mom is waiting for us in the kitchen when she walks in, and it's time to brace myself. The thing about my mom is she's a child psychologist, and it shows. So tell me about the party, guys. Here we go. It was awesome, Mom. Good thing Garrett had so much bruise. I mean, really. Abby is better at this than I am. She launches into a really detailed description of everyone's costumes, while my mom brings over this epic plate of snacks from the counter. My parents are usually in bed by 10, and I can tell my mom is exhausted. But I knew she'd be awake when we got home. She seriously lives for opportunities to be a, hey guys, I'm a cool kind of mom. And Nick played guitar, Abby says. Nick's very talented, said my mom. Oh, I know, Abby replies. Girls were swooning over him. That's why you keep telling Simon to learn guitar. His sister used to play. I'm going to bed, I say. Abby, are you good? My mom has Abby staying in Alice's room, which is hilarious considering Nick has been spending the night on my bedroom floor for about 10 years. It isn't until I'm in my room that I can finally relax. Bieber is already passed out at the foot of my bed in a nest of jeans and hoodies. My Dementor robes end up in a heap on the floor. I did aim for the hamper. I'm kind of comically unathletic. I lie on top of my bed without getting in it. I hate messing up the sheets before I actually have to. I know this is weird, but I make my bed every single day, even though the rest of my room is a hellscape of paper and laundries and books and clutter. Sometimes I feel like my bed is a lifeboat. I put in my earbuds. Nora and I share a wall, so I'm not supposed to listen to anything through the speakers after she goes to bed. I need something familiar. Elliot Smith. I'm wide awake and still kind of electrified from the party. I think it was good. I don't have a lot to compare it to. It's a little bit crazy to think that I had a beer. I know it's astonishingly lame to even think that about a single beer. Garrett and all the soccer guys probably think it's crazy to stop at one, but they're not me. I don't think to tell my parents about it. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't get in trouble if I did. I don't know. I need to spend some time in my head with this new Simon. My parents have a way of ruining things like this. They get so curious. It's like they have this idea of me, and whenever I step outside of that, it blows their minds. There's something so embarrassing about that in a way I can't even describe. I mean, telling my parents was easily the weirdest, most horrible thing about having a girlfriend. All 3 times. It was honestly worse than any of the breakups. I'll never forget that day I told them about my 8th grade girlfriend, Rachel Thomas. Oh my god. First they wanted to see her yearbook picture. My dad actually brought the yearbook into the kitchen where the light is better, and he was perfectly silent for a full minute. And then, that girl has some eyebrows. I mean, I hadn't noticed until he said it, but after that it was kind of all I could think about. My mom was the one who got obsessed with the idea I had a girlfriend, even though I never really had one before. I don't know why that came as such a freaking surprise to her, since I'm pretty sure most people start out never having had one. But yeah, and she wanted to know everything. How Rachel and I got together, and what my feelings were, and whether we needed her to drive us anywhere. She was just so bizarrely interested in all of it. It didn't help that my sisters never talk about boys or dating, so it was just a huge spotlight on me. Honestly, the weirdest part is how they made me feel like this big coming out moment, which can't be normal. As far as I know, coming out isn't something that straight kids generally worry about. That's the thing people wouldn't understand. This coming out thing. It's not even about me being gay, because I know deep down that my family would be fine with it. We're not religious. My parents are Democrats. My dad likes to joke around, and it would definitely be awkward, but I guess I'm lucky. I know they're not going to disown me, and I'm sure some people in school would give me hell, but my friends would be fine. Leah loves gay guys, so she'd probably be freaking thrilled. But I'm tired of coming out. All I ever do is come out. I try not to change, but I keep changing in all these tiny ways. I get a girlfriend, I have a beer, and every freaking time I have to reintroduce myself to the universe all over again.